If you're a people leader and you're leading them as part of a team, then absolutely it is your duty to ensure that the working environment enables people to work to their utmost effectiveness. And if this person is really impacting your level of effectiveness or the quality of relationships within the team, then I think that is a really important conversation to have. You just do it with care and courage.
And so what we can see happening in the workplace is that, yes, this person is really difficult, and the way that I deal with it is that I ignore them or I don't have much to do with them. And then this sort of perpetual, habitual way of operating with this person becomes ingrained, and you don't grow, they don't grow, and the relationship doesn't improve. And you can be working with people for a very long period of time, and then there's that low-grade stress that happens between you.
Yeah.
And so this is your opportunity to step into that care and courage space that we often talk about and tell that person the impact that behaviour is having on you.
Welcome to the People Leaders Podcast, the audio resource for managers and business leaders creating high-performing teams. Join leadership and team development experts Jan and Michelle Turkelson each week as they explore both subjects from every angle. Through practical tips, valuable insights, and compelling interviews with leadership experts around the world, you'll learn how to bring out the best in your staff and how to give your best as a leader.
Good morning, Jan.
Hi, Michelle.
Okay, so today what we're doing is we're responding, and we do listen to a podcast listener who had a issue that they wanted us to record a podcast about, and that was about dealing with difficult people. So hands up, how many people would say that you have a difficult colleague or somebody in your team that could be considered difficult? And the particular area of difficulty for this person was that their colleague had high IQ but very low EQ, in their opinion.
And so how did that manifest at work, though?
It was very broad in terms of the response. It just made it very difficult to work with that person.
Right.
So we don't have any more detail other than that. So what we're going to do is we are going to give you some strategies on how you might deal with someone who in your eyes is seen to be a difficult personality, high IQ, low EQ. The first thing that I would say to that is that if somebody that you're dealing with has high IQ, well, they're probably really good at learning things, and so that is a good start. And anybody in the workplace can learn a new behaviour. And the critical factor here is, do they want to? What we know, having coached people for over 20 years, is that people don't like to change, and they certainly won't change if that change is imposed on them. There has to be a real need for somebody to want to change their behaviour.
Absolutely. It has to be a benefit. So the benefit is I'm going to lose my job, or my manager isn't going to promote me, or my reputation is really going to be tarnished, or actually I've noticed that the quality of my relationships aren't as satisfying as they could be. And so there has to be some level of either awareness or motivation.
And the thing here is, it's almost like, what right do you have to point that out to somebody unless they are interested in receiving feedback about the behaviour and the impact that is having? The only thing that you can do is manage how you respond to their behaviour.
Yeah. If you're a people leader and you're leading them as part of a team, then absolutely it is your duty to ensure that the working environment enables people to work to their utmost effectiveness. And if this person is really impacting your level of effectiveness or the quality of relationships within the team, then I think that is a really important conversation to have. You just do it with care and courage.
And so what we can see happening in the workplace is that, yes, this person is really difficult, and the way that I deal with it is that I ignore them or I don't have much to do with them. and then this sort of perpetual, habitual way of operating with this person becomes ingrained, and you don't grow, they don't grow, and the relationship doesn't improve. And you can be working with people for a very long period of time, and then there's that low-grade stress that happens between you.
Yeah.
And so this is your opportunity to step into that care and courage space that we often talk about, and tell that person the impact that that behaviour is having on you.
Yeah, so it really starts with the quality of the conversations that you're having, or the quality of conversation that you are going to have. So you want to be, quite prepared for what it is that you're going to say. And the model that we use is the SBIN model, which we've got a podcast about. And really, it's the situation. So what is the situation you want to talk to them about? What is the behaviour that you're seeing?
Yep. What is the impact of that behaviour having on you and the team?
And this is key.
Yeah.
If you can get really specific and factual about this, not your opinion about it, but, your observations, your facts, what you actually heard, what you observed, then there may be that level of, I didn't even realise.
Or the impact could be how you are feeling. The impact when you speak to me like that. For example, we had that conversation in the meeting the other day, and we were talking about a technical issue, and I know that you are all over it, but when you responded to my comment, I felt really diminished. It felt as if I didn't know enough, and that was the impact that it had on me. And so every time I do have a conversation with you now, I'm really on tenterhooks, and I don't want it to be like that. What I would like is a conversation where you see me, or I feel like I'm your peer or your intellectual equal, or whatever it is, and I don't feel diminished.
And that would be the N in the next steps. Because sometimes it's just when you actually talk about the impact, then just be silent for a little bit and just go, what do you think about that? Is this something that you want to talk more on? Because they might go, no, it might be enough for them. But have loads of care when you're having these conversations, but be really specific with as many facts that you can share with them.
And you know what might be an idea. And the thing is, this is taking big responsibility about your work life because you are clearly not very satisfied.
And if you have spent the time to write us an email, you've thought about it, you've crafted it, it is actually using up a lot of your mental and emotional energy. And anything that's using up your mental and emotional energy at some point is going to create resistance and stress in the body and diminish your level of effectiveness. So take action in a really courageous but also high care way.
Yeah.
Absolutely have to have that combination.
Yeah. So do you want to change? And it all boils down to, so do I want to have a different relationship with this, inverted commas, difficult person? The first thing that I would say is flip the way that you talk about or refer to that person as difficult. What is it that makes them difficult?
Maybe different. Could you say they're just different from me? Yeah. And so one of the biggest turnarounds that I've seen just even lately with someone is that they actually agreed to do a 360 feedback. We use a tool called the LSI, and it is incredible when people actually start to see the impact that they're having on people in their team, but also the impact that they're having on their level of effectiveness. Because if you don't have a level of emotional awareness and self-regulation, your ability to be effective is incredibly diminished.
And you know what? So where would you start? Start with yourself. Start with yourself, gathering some 360 feedback. And you might be surprised that, you might be seen as the difficult person.
Because that could be part of the conversation, and I started to have a look at myself. Yeah. And I actually did some 360, and this is what I found. So you're actually bridging that gap.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
all right. So we really encourage you to take some action. If it is swirling around in your mind, it actually is taking a little bit of your energy. So check in with yourself first, shift the way in which you're thinking about this situation and feeling about this situation, and then take some action, and you will definitely get a different result.
Agreed.
Yeah, and anyone else who has any specific questions, please email us at info@peopleleaders.com.au, and we will definitely do a podcast about it. And if it's appropriate, we'll even, create a resource or a template.
Definitely. All right. Have a good day.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode of the People Leaders Podcast. For show notes and other resources, please visit us at peopleleaderspodcast.com. And while you're there, you can subscribe for future episodes so you can continue your own leadership journey. And please be sure to share this and other episodes with your friends and colleagues. The People Leaders Podcast is brought to you by the Experts on Air Podcast Network.